If you hate your job, you have to quit. If you wake up every day and you're sitting in the car driving, clenching the steering wheel, knowing, I don't want to go to this thing anymore, you have to quit. You have to move on, because you are better than having this boss that doesn't support you. You are better than doing work that is beneath your talent level. You are better than going into that job and not getting paid what you should be getting paid. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something, and you need to find it, embrace it, and use it to make a difference. You have to believe in yourself more. I used to have a job that I hated. I was doing data entry for a bank. And every day I used to just copy and paste and copy and paste. I had this file that came in with these numbers that I had to copy and paste over into a form that I had to fill out every day. Hundreds of times every day. And I was on a team of 6 people. And I got in trouble with my boss for eating while I was at the office. So I had to sneak some popcorn in my first drawer and just every now and then try to sneak a bite when nobody was looking. They wouldn't allow us to listen to music. And so I would sneak in a Discman back in the day, put it on the floor. I bought an extra long cable for my earphones and ran it through my jeans. I wore a turtleneck to work every day so I could run it all the way through and have this little bit on one side of music so I can be productive and have music playing while I was at the office. I almost got fired because I was breaking the rules. I skipped lunch every day to work. And when I had my performance review with everybody, me versus my teammates, I had done more work than all 5 of them combined for the summer that I was there. I almost got fired for being the most productive, efficient worker on their team because I wasn't following their stupid rules. That's the moment I realized, I don't know if I can work for somebody else. I don't know if I want to live this life. I looked at the people around me, I looked at my boss at the time, I looked at the people who were in the cubicles who were 20, 30, 40 years older than me, and I said, I don't know if I want to be like them. Is this the life that I'm signing up for? It looked great on the outside, go work for this bank, right? You get all these benefits, you get prestige, you can put that on your resume, but I look at these people who are my seniors like, I don't think I want to do this. I can't imagine being that person. I was angry in just being the 3 months that I was there. I couldn't imagine 40 years of that work. And so I thought, I need to go off and take a bet on myself. And when I had this dream opportunity to work at this big company I wanted to work at versus starting my own business, being an entrepreneur, owning 30% of a company and making $300 a month, I knew I had to at least try it. I knew I had to at least test it. Because even if it didn't work out, most entrepreneurs don't work out. Even if the most likely outcome was failure and it did not work out, I had to know. I took the approach that I would rather know and fail than not know, because I know what the alternative looks like. 95% of people wake up and drive to a job that they hate. I saw it around me. People hated their lives. They were upset and got happy by telling somebody, you can't eat at the office. You can't listen to music at the office on these power trips. That's what made them come alive, because they hated their life so much. So what I did was I gave myself a year. I gave myself a year. Some of my college buddies are going off and traveling the world. I'm going to give myself a year to try this business. And I put a timeline on it. 1 year. If I can't make it happen, if I'm not making money, if I'm not getting some level of satisfaction from this, I can always go back and get another job. It may not be the same job, may not be the same company, may not be traveling around the world like this one was, may not pay me as much, but that career path is still lined up for me. I could always go back and do it. So I gave myself a year to struggle and fail and try to be an entrepreneur. Because I wanted to not live the rest of my life in regret. Because I wanted to give myself a shot. Because I believed that I had some genius inside me that I needed to unlock and expose and see if it could work out. So the way I see it, there's 3 main roadblocks that prevent people from quitting the job that they hate and moving into the life that they could love. The first one is feeling like you're taking a step back. That you're taking a step back, that you've invested all this money and time in education that you're just throwing away. Right? You got schooled and now you're throwing it away. You've been at this workplace for X number of years, and if you stay on that path, you're going to get more bonuses, you're going to get more pension, you're going to get more rewards. It's hard to leave that path. You don't want to throw it all away to go take a shot on this thing and it may not work out. That's a big roadblock for a lot of people. So what do you do about it? Well, 1, you tell yourself that it's not fatal. You can always go back, right? You can always go back and do this path. Again, maybe not at that company, somewhere else, but you can always go back and do it again. Two is this the reason why you want to stay in this job? Because you might get a better pension by the time you're 65? Like, this is the reason why? Everything that you've done up to this point is now in the past. It's rearview mirror. It got you to where you are right now. If you continue to live your life, you're driving forward in your car, right? You're driving forward in your car, looking at the rearview mirror of everything that has happened to you. That's not how you get to where you want to go. Forget the rearview mirror. We're driving forward. Your education, your experiences, your bad bosses, your bad colleagues, your great colleagues have gotten to you where you are right now. All of those things are sunk costs. What do you want to do with your life right now? That's the powerful decision that you need to make, and let go of everything that in the past that happened to you so you can start driving forward. The second roadblock is your friends and family. Your friends and family who tell you, don't do that. You've invested so much time. You have so much talent. You could be this great thing. If you just stay there for another X years, it's going to be better because you're going to get that promotion and you're going to step into the life that you want. Meanwhile, when you look at the people who are in the place that you will be in 5 years, you see that they still hate their life, that it doesn't get better. If anything, it just gets worse because you lose hope with age and years. The people who are 40, 50, 60 working at the company have less energy, less hope, a dimmed light because they've been there for so long and they feel like there is no way to get off. Listening to your friends and family is not the path to achieving success because chances are you have a different version of success. You want to do something different than what your friends and family are doing. Look at your mom, look at your dad, look at the people giving you this advice. Have they done the thing that you want to do? If not, then why are you listening to their advice? How are they in the position to help you? Understand that it's likely coming from a place of love, right? Like, I assume your mom and your dad, they love you. Your parents love you. Your friends probably love you. The advice that they're given is out of love, but they're from a different world. They don't understand what you want. Success to them looks different than success to you. And so understanding that they love you and understanding that they want you to be successful helps remove the sting, helps make their words not hurt you as much. But you have to decide at what age are you going to be an adult? At what age do you decide that this is your life and you're going to live it? And it's not to say, see mom, see dad, look what I did. That's not the point to stick it to somebody else. It's to go live your life. Is it 18 that you become an adult? Is it 24? Is it 36? Is it 42? Are you going to be 50 and still living your life based on what your parents want you to do? At some age, you have to decide that this is my life, right? When you're 4 years old, you don't have a choice. But at what age are you going to say, this is what I want to go off and do? And even if it fails, I need to know, for me. Then you'll have some people who just don't want you to be successful. You'll have people who are jealous. You'll have friends you grew up with who, because of their own insecurities, don't want to see you go off and win. Because Uncle Joe tried his company once and it didn't work out, and so now nobody around him can have success. There's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people who are so wounded, who are so hurt, who are so insecure, who took one shot at it in their life, and now they spend the rest of their life tearing other people down. And so if you recognize that, again, is Uncle Joe the person you want to be listening to? Why do you care so much about Uncle Joe's opinions and what you're doing? At some point, you have to break free and say, this is my life. And again, the intention is not to show it to Uncle Joe and see what I did? I don't want you living in that place of darkness. But it's about creating your life. What do you want? Chances are the thing that you want is different than what the people around you are doing, right? If you go with me that most people hate their life, hate their jobs, hate what they're doing, then chances are the thing that you want to do is totally different than what they're doing, is what your family history is all about. You don't want the same job that your parents did. Even if they started a business, maybe you don't want to take over the family business. You want to do something wild and totally different because you're a unique talent. You're a genius. And so having the courage to bet on yourself, to say, I need to at least chase this down. It may not work, but I at least need to know. I need to chase it down for myself to see if I can hack it, to see if I can make it, to see if this crazy idea that I've got in my head could actually work, to take me from this environment that I'm in right now and explode me out to a whole new area. It might just work, but you'll never know as long as you keep listening to the people who are telling you that it's not going to work. And the third roadblock is fear. It's the fear that it's not going to work out. It's the fear that this idea that's perfect in your head, when it comes out, might get rejected. Maybe you get no clients. Maybe you get no money. Maybe you're going to be stuck, homeless, right? These fears that run through our head. When you make decisions based out of fear, it's almost never the right one for you. The thing is, we'll find really practical ways of convincing ourselves of why we shouldn't do something, where underneath those really smart, practical reasons is just fear. And so what you need to do is ask yourself, what would the boldest version of me do? What would the boldest version of me right now want to do with my life? What would the boldest version of me say to the boss who's yelling at me? What would the boldest version of me say to Uncle Joe who's not supporting me? What would the boldest version of me say when I look at myself in the mirror and say that I want to go off and do this thing? Separating what you're afraid of from just facts. These facts can be solved. These problems that are real, that are in front of you, can be solved. But not if you're making all of your opinions, your judgments, your decisions through the lens of fear. So listen, it may not work out. Most entrepreneurs don't make it. It's a pretty high failure rate. So why will it work out for you? You have to invest in yourself. You have to go through the process. You won't know until you go off and try. What's the worst case scenario? It doesn't work out. Great. In a year, what are you going to do? You can go back and get another job. But something funny tells me that you won't. Something funny tells me that if you quit your job, start this business, and it doesn't work out, you're not going to go back to that situation. You've moved on. You're stronger. You're more confident. You're more courageous. You've learned. You're ready for another opportunity. Just like if you break up in a relationship, you might go on a bunch of failed dates, but you're not going to go back to that failed relationship. That's not the one for you. You know it. Many people stay in a relationship far too long. I don't want that to be you either. And so you start by starting. You start by taking a small test. One of the reasons why you're so afraid is you've made it this big, giant thing. And you're excited, and you should have big ideas because you're a genius. You come up with great, world-changing ideas. You want to have a massive impact. I get it. I'm pumped for you. I'm with you. I believe in you. But when you make it too big, it's hard to see how you can get from where you're at now to where that big place is. And so you think big and you act small. You think big. That's motivating. That's the big change you want to make. That keeps you going every day. And don't make it so scary that now you need a big team to make happen, you need investment capital to make happen, you need angel investors and venture capitalists and patent lawyers, you need all this stuff to happen. You need the fancy gear and equipment and the trucks and the video cameras, all of it. And until I get that, I can't start because my idea is so big. You start big and you act small. What's the smallest possible version of what you want to do? How can you get started immediately on that thing that you want to do? What is it? If you're making YouTube videos, film from your phone. It might be great here that we've got lights and cameras and sliders and all this special fancy gear here. You start from your phone. You start today. That's what I did. Go back on my channel 10 years ago. You'll see it. I did everything myself. I sucked and I struggled and I learned and I built the one thing that most people are missing, momentum. Because you're a genius. Meanwhile, dummies are winning off of your idea. Absolute dummies are making money and winning from your idea. They don't have as much talent as you. They don't have much skill as you. They don't even have as much desire to have an impact as you do. And they're winning and they're making money and they quit their jobs and you're still in yours. Why? Because they started, because they did something, because they took those small steps. You've got such a big vision because you're such a talented person. You're a genius, but you can't connect it all the way down to just starting. And so at the root of making money, at the root of being an entrepreneur, is solving a problem for somebody else. You've been through pain. You've struggled with different issues. You've solved them. There's a lot of people who are currently struggling with the thing that you struggled with. Go help them. Go solve it for them. If you do a good job of solving it for them, guess what? They're going to start paying you. They're going to start referring people to you. You're going to start being able to charge more and more and more and more. And whether you're the kind of person who has to go all in, some people have to quit their jobs and go all in. It's the only way they're ever going to do anything. You want to quit smoking, you go cold turkey. Or you're the kind of person who can stay at it and take little jabs every single day. Instead of going cold turkey on the smoke and use Nicorette, right? Every little day, you're slowly weaning yourself off. If you could do that, great. If you have to go cold turkey, great. But you build momentum by providing value to people that then they start paying you for. It may take a while to get to your big vision. I want to have a vision so big that it's never going to happen. I get up every day trying to solve the world's biggest problem, knowing that it's never going to happen. And yet every day I'm taking more steps to try to make it happen. That's what's missing. The only thing you're missing is momentum. You have a great idea. You have the abilities. You can figure out the skill set to make it happen. You don't have all the answers now. It's okay. Nobody does, especially at the beginning. It's supposed to be messy. You have everything you already need to win. Your heroes, the people you look up to, the people who you respect, the people who you look at and watch their videos, maybe on my channel. You say, man, that person, I want to be like them. Look at how they started. They started with less than what you already have right now. They started with less than what you have right now. The difference between them and you is they just got started. They got started. They did not let their fears hold them back. They did not let their friends, family, Uncle Joe hold them back. They stopped living their life in their rearview mirror, and they started saying, I'm going to take charge. I'm going to see if this crazy thing that I have just might work. I'm going to choose to believe in myself a little bit more. I'm going to create an environment and a routine and a system for myself to every day wake up and try to tackle this big problem. And eventually they went off and won. Not overnight, not on the first day, but they kept at it because they loved it. And eventually they won. And if they can do it, you can too. You're worth so much more than where you're at right now. You're worth so much more. You deserve to be respected. You deserve to let your genius shine through. You deserve to be around people who build you up. You deserve to have a happy life. You do. And it only happens by taking that first step. By you recognizing that where you're at right now is not the best version of you. If you hate your job, you have to quit. You have to believe in yourself, believe in your talents, and decide that today is the day that you're going to take your bold, courageous action. Believe. If you have a podcast or interview show and want me to be a guest on it, I have two options for you. There's a link right there next to me. Go click it, and I look forward to being a guest on your show.